Ho ho ho, everybody! How is everyone doing? Merry Christmas. Um, my Christmas plans abruptly changed, so I am back at home and no longer on the road trip I was going to be on. I got exposed to COVID and had to come home and self quarantine. I'm quite all right. My test came back negative. I felt fine, but seemed like the responsible thing to do. So drove all the way to Ohio, about 16 hours, came back about a day later, and here we are. So my brother, who I was visiting, is in a nursing school program. Can't risk getting him sick in the Airbnbs and stuff like that. So here we are, spending Christmas at home. It's been a journey. I hope everyone's having a lovely Christmas. I am. This has been the first time I've been clean shaven like a month. I feel great. Hey, Jesse. Feliz Navidad, my friend. Thank you again for wishing me a Merry Christmas, Jesse. I hope you and the family are doing well. You enjoyed the Scrimba live stream. Yeah, Michael, we saw your blogs went up there. So that was cool. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I did a live stream with Scrimba yesterday to talk about the winner of the JavaScript Miss Challenge, which was a lot of fun. And then also, not only was there was announcing of my clean code course that is launching on their platform, which is fantastic. So that is actually there and live now. A lot of people, I think, are really going to get a lot of value out of that course. Really excited by that. Yeah, some cool stuff. We also talked a little bit about the introduction to unit testing course that I built already. I already got your course. Thanks, man. Yeah, Jesse, for those of you who know, Jesse and I have worked together at 2 workplaces. And so a little bit of mentoring on my end and a little bit of mentoring on his end. I've learned a lot from Jesse and vice versa, hopefully. But Merry Christmas. I hope everyone's doing well. I thought it'd be a nice change of pace to really go ahead and do a live stream. Say hello. Not all of us are going to be with family and friends, especially this year. Not all of us are with family and friends any year. So it's why not say hi to we're family, right? To a degree, we're family. Maybe not traditional family, but like some of you guys show up, Neil, and Michael, like Code Sphinx. I've recognized you guys from live streams. You guys show up all the time. Not to say that Matthew and Jorge aren't there, but like people who are consistent, I recognize some of the names. So life is good, man. Merry Christmas. So, what do I consider the best way to make a study plan? Well, it kind of depends on what your objective is, right? So, like my personal recommendation for people who are trying to learn to be a software engineer and get that first level role, simply look at job apps and what people are hiring for the roles that you're interested in. It's pretty straightforward. If your goal is to get a job, what are people looking to fill and why, right? And go look at 100 apps and then make your study plan based off that. That's if you're looking at a job. If you're looking to go from, junior to mid or junior to senior, then that's a whole different thing. That's something that you would still look at those job apps, but I honestly think talking to developers at the companies, at the organizations about what they think is relevant is a good way of going. And like following up with people like myself who have done it and, can tell you what they did. I usually try and give advice based off of what I did because I tried so many things. The thing that finally worked was something that I was like, oh, I think anyone can do it because I'm just, like everyone else. We're just one person going through life doing the best that we can. As a backend developer, do you need to know the front end? No, I mean, the thing is like if you're going to niche into one area, is it going to be easier to get full stack jobs? Probably early on in your career. But dog hair in my mouth is fantastic. At some point, you need to understand how the other aspects of software engineering work, right? That's really what you need to understand. And once you have that makes your life a little bit easier. I'm gonna open the window. It's kind of hot in here. I'm loving the weather though. When I was for the brief time I was in Ohio, I loved the snow, everything about it. It's just beautiful, nice change of pace. Excited for that. So That's what I would recommend is that you understand the roles of the people around you. You're obviously not gonna understand like, if you're a back-end developer, you're gonna understand the front end as good as a front-end engineer? No, probably not. But you should understand the overall arcing, like, high-level stuff of how it works and why it works the way that it works. I think once you do that, then that makes your life a little bit easier. And it'll make you a better developer also in the process. So, it's, there's always gonna be lots to learn. And you have to pick and choose what it is that you're going to learn, because if you just say you're gonna learn it all, guess what? You're not. So sorry to sorry to break your bust your bubble, but like it's just not possible, right? Um, I've been trying to study, almost every day for 5 years, and there's there's no way for you to stay up to date. It's just on everything, on absolutely everything. So you have to sort of pick and choose. And kind of the interesting thing that happens as you go and you progress your career is you niche down, which may seem counterintuitive. So like as you go and early on in your career, I'd say like, oh, go and become like a full stack developer because there'll be more opportunities. And that's for sure true, right? Like without a doubt. But as you go and do that, um, you as people want you to as teams grow and companies budgets get larger and things like that, you start niching down quite a bit where instead of doing DevOps, front end, back end, database, you start doing one or two things at a time, maybe, and then one. And you start thinking about that in the real world, how that works with doctors. Well, do you go and have a general practitioner do your hand surgery? No, you have a hand specialist. And do you go to the hand specialist and have them do your feet? Probably not. I mean, I've never had foot surgery, so but I would imagine not. You go, and the same thing is true in software engineering, that as you go and you get into those higher, more in demand roles, you get paid better because you specialize in something that they need a specialist in. So I was like looking, and I was like, "Why doesn't it look like I have any eyebrows?" Like my eyebrows are really relatively light in general, but in the camera here, it looks like I'm running around with no eyebrows. That's not the case. I assure you, I have some eyebrows. A healthy amount of brow is what I think I have. Um, are you working in the office? Or am I working remote? I'm working remote currently. So, how good is the scope of the blockchain field? I wouldn't go into it. I've thought about it. In the past, it's paid slightly higher, about 15% higher than other fields, but the risk is astronomical. It's not a it's it's not a I mean, if you're in your first job or second job and you're still just trying to grow your career and skill set and whatnot, fine. But if you're an established developer, unless you get a really stellar deal, I would be hesitant to take such a offer. Um, not to say it's not going to be good, not to say it's not going to work out or dump on the blockchain field, but it's a higher risk field. That's all. There's nothing wrong with it. Um, so, but I went to a meetup that was talking about blockchain, and I thought it was going to be this mind blowing stuff. It was pretty simple. Granted, it was a simple example, but it wasn't anything like, oh my God, this is just some programming that's on a next level that I could never possibly understand how to write an Ethereum contract and work with it. It's fairly straightforward. I have a friend who invited me to apply for a job at his company. I'm missing some of the skills, but I'm trying to learn them super quick. Good. Could I look at the job posting and give you some pointers? No. If it lets you post a link in the chat, go ahead. I don't think it's going to. We'll see. I'll be surprised. The YouTube. All right. Let me see here. All right. I got it. Software test engineer. So, all right. So you're going to be able to need to speak to C# and .NET. When it comes to testing and automation, so you're going to want to talk about integration testing, unit testing. You're going to want to be familiar with agile methodologies. Selenium as well. Okay. I mean, truly, it's just your typical testing thing. Yeah. So, I mean, it's probably going to be hard to try and get a job in testing when you haven't written any testing. But honestly, it's one of the ways that you can go into the year. Will you be making a 2021 video like a goals video like you usually do? Yes, actually I will. So I have a couple videos that I'll be talking about. There'll be 2 videos. There'll be what I accomplished in 2020, and there'll be what I did, what my goals are for 2021. And I'll be making both those videos. I'll also be making a video. I already made it. It's just a talking video. I had to do a sponsor. I have a sponsor video with my boys over at BenQ who sent me the screen reader light. So I did a little video talking about how for your next job you should get the jobs to come to you. And like that's my tip basically. And you know, so I'll have a couple of videos coming out here or there. Nothing too much. How would you rate this year on a scale of 1 to 10? Well, what am I rating it based off of? I mean, there's various aspects of this year that went really well for me. There's various aspects that went really poorly for me. Yeah, I wouldn't even say went poorly for me. Like, what are we basing it off of career growth? Because my career growth is a 10. No doubt about it. Happiness, productivity. I mean, can you really complain? So this year I started earning royalties from Scrimba courses, and I doubled my income this year, and I am working at Amazon. Like, productivity is a 10. Happiness, I'm like at a 7, maybe an 8. Things are going really well. I met a nice girl recently, and that's going well for us. So that's like it's kind of hard to say how do I look at the whole year when I'm kind of writing a little bit of a high. And so that's going rather well. So I would say generally the year started off very rough. Let's see, February-ish. I think my relationship ended, and then I had another one that was kind of insane. And then another short one, and then I spent a lot of time working on myself, my mental health, my physical health. And then once I did that, what was in the 1, 2, 3 range probably became a 6, 7, 8 range. So I mean, I'm generally pretty happy right now. But so happiness, let's throw happiness at like a 7, and we'll say productivity I think is a 10. I lost 30 pounds. I changed my diet. I ate. My career finances are going very well. And so there you go. That's how I would rate this year. Yeah. Who is cool? Bill Gates or Elon Musk? Why wouldn't they both be cool? Why do you care who's cool? I swear my eyes are getting darker. So I've always have. If you guys look at my eyes, let's try open wide. One is lighter and one is darker, and part of it's the lighting with the window right here. I don't think, but part of it's also I have 2 different color eyes, but I think it's getting darker there. Christmas isn't as exciting as once you're adult. I don't know. I love Christmas, man. This has been the first year in a long time I haven't got a Christmas tree, even when I was super broke. I always scrounge together money for a Christmas tree because I thought it was important. But it's the first year that I haven't got one. So I get what you're saying. I wasn't as much in the Christmas spirit this year, but I also had a lot going on. I had a ton going on. Oh, I had the prepping for Amazon, and have I ever used Algo Expert? Yeah, Algo Expert's what I use to prep for my Fang interview. So I'm a big fan of Algo Expert. I think it's great. Um, and if you go back and I give an update video about it. So I don't want to talk about my coding interview. They have you sign an NDA and stuff like that. They want to keep that stuff in house, right? They don't want anyone cheating. They want people to be able to figure it out on their own and study and all that sort of stuff, right? So, kept me going and making a video about that, or talking about that. You gotta walk a very fine balance, and you want to edge on the side of caution. Uh, and there's no caution really when you break an NDA. So, uh, so, um, but yeah, man. So, but yeah, Christmas, man. Christmas and the holidays, and I'm a big believer that if you have somebody who to spend the holidays with, that they become much more magical. Um, for some reason, that bothers my brother. He thinks that like you should an independent man. Like, listen, I agree. It's not like I'm jacking up my life, forcing myself and being married 6 months in or things like that. But I don't think there's anything wrong with people saying, "Hey, how was my week?" Well, I drove to Ohio and I drove back, and luckily I tested negative for COVID, which was fantastic. And then now I am on my way. I'm on my way to just sort of hanging out. I've been hanging out with somebody since I've got back. That's been nice, and I did a little bit of work, did a little live stream. I'm probably going to be doing some study. Am I scared of COVID? No, I'm not scared of COVID. Am I cautious? Yeah, I wear my mask. I take an immunity shot every day, and I work out not only for my own physical health, but also to increase my immune system. Like, I'm not trying to get COVID, but I'm also trying to live my life in a healthy, safe way. So, I go out to eat dinner in case, so which is how I got exposed, right? I went out to dinner with a buddy of mine, and um, he messaged me uh, the day after I arrived and just visit my brother, like, "Hey, my wife and I went in and we got tested, and turns out we're positive." So I drove home into quarantine. So, um, you know, yeah, trying to still live my life while I be respectful. Yeah, so you know, it's also like for me anyhow, and maybe this is selfish, but like um I'm a believer that like if you are at home alone, you get a little bit more leeway. Like like if you live alone, uh it's different than going home to a family and your husband and wife every day, because like you have social interaction and stuff like that. So like if you're not doing anything that's high risk, and you're wearing your mask and you're doing all the things you should do, um, that if they allow outdoor dining and you want to go on dates or you want to go do something like that, like there's nothing wrong with that if you're being safe, right? Like I don't have my parents, for instance, are in the high risk category, and I work remotely. So so in my case, if I was seeing my family on Christmas, I wouldn't, probably I'd probably quarantine for 2 weeks before I go and visit them because I don't want to get them sick. Obviously, they may not come back. Right? Um, it's it is what it is, though. Do I have any best friends? My best friends are probably Matt and also Ricky. If I had to throw it out there. Hey, Merry Christmas, Natalia. Do I see myself moving out west faster to get acclimated sooner? No. From a financial perspective, it makes a lot of sense to stay. Do I seem tired? No, no, no. Sorry, I'm just distracted. I was looking at an email. From a financial perspective, it makes sense to stay out in Florida as long as possible. Um, my home value went up like 7 grand last month. Not to mention cost of living and like, but yeah, so I plan to be out in Florida as long as possible. Also, who really knows, you know, what's going to happen with COVID and how that's going to push dates back when people need to be in offices and things like that. So, but no, I don't plan to get acclimated any sooner. There's been so many changes in my life with this job and work that like I'd like to get ramped up at my job before I go and move. So it's one of those items where I'm doing onboarding. I still need to ramp up in certain technologies and in the holidays and all that sort of stuff that I once I do that and I feel confident that then I can go and uproot when and if the time comes. So it's I know how much like you moving up already. I now 16. I'm on an L8, dog. Yeah, I am. Not to say that I'm like by any means not content with my current like career growth. I'm absolutely content and happy. Let me put it this way: I'm happy. I'm very rarely ever content. Like, and it's something I'm actually really trying to work on because I don't think it's healthy. So, but yeah. So am I eager to go and become an L6? Yes. Am I first going to make sure I'm an X on L5? Yes. So that's really the goal. But yeah, Sharp, you know me, man. I'm hungry. Like when I go and I do my yearly reviews, usually they'll ask like, "What are your goals? Like, what is it that you want to do?" And I'm always very direct. I was like, "My goal is to progress my career and get fatter checks." Like that is it. Like that's all I'm trying to do. Like, as far as from a very practical perspective, there's no like, I don't know what to do with this guy or what he wants. No, no, no. You definitely know what you want. I want to progress my career because when I progress it, it doesn't get stagnant, it doesn't get boring. I get to continue my growth and it's fun, and I want to make more money. That's it. I'm pretty simple and I'm pretty direct. So everyone's on the same page, right? You're not going to be like, I don't know what Dylan wants. Dylan will tell you what he wants. Pretty straightforward. So, recently watched a tech lead video about how L6 plus really isn't worth it because there's so much more responsibility, even though you kind of do the same stuff. I mean, I don't know how you say from a financial perspective it's not worth it when you're talking about each jump being close to 6 figures. Like if you go and look at if you go look at levels of FI, and this isn't, any of these FANG companies, every time you go and get a promotion, you're talking about $75,000 to $150,000 of additional. Like, yeah, so sure, there's gonna be more work, but like, it all sort of depends. It depends on the organization, depends on the team. So, like different teams where you work may have completely different experiences everywhere. I was on a fantastic team at an organization that low stress, low this, low that. Other teams were on death marches. And so Code Sphinx, here's another thing you have to understand is it's up to you to have a good work-life balance. It's up to you to manage expectations. If you let organizations bully you, you're never going to have a good work-life balance. But as a good employee, you have to do your job well, but you also have to respect your own time and stuff like that. So, it's a balance, but a lot of people don't do a very good job on it. And I think part of it's a lot of us are introverts. A lot of us don't like confrontation, things like that. So, should I still train HTML and CSS besides the basics? Yes. How many languages do you speak? Just English? How many hours of actual code writing per day at your job? I haven't written any code at my latest job because I've been doing onboarding, but typically I would say you do like 5 hours of dev work and 3 hours of like meetings and other crap. That'd be rough. Right? As a front end dev, you typically aren't writing the APIs. That's sort of the back end dev jobs. Are the advanced algorithm shells for your code supposed to be hard? Yeah, everything's hard until it's not, man. Some of these things just take time. There's nothing wrong with that. But I truly want to stress this point about your work-life balance is up to you. And it's up to you to respect it. It's up to you to protect it. It's just one of those things that you have to do because no one else is going to do it for you. Like, same thing with diet and exercise. If you want to be physically healthy, you have to do it. And you can't make excuses. You have to make it a main priority. Same thing with your work-life balance. How many hours do I sleep? 8 to 9 every day. I can't listen. I can't. Here's one thing I want to stress also is if you're a software engineer, you want to be a good one, you need your sleep. This is what pays the bills right here. I don't know about you, but after about 25 and not getting any sleep, I can't do my job all that well without sleep. I mean, I can do it, but you're getting a subpar product. You're getting a product that doesn't go at maximum capacity. Sleep is crucial for your brain to work. And we get paid for our brains to work. We don't get paid for how fast we can type, right? What's the next step in life for you? Well, it's really it's probably the family life, if I was to be honest. It's not a career goal. I think I'll always work on my career goal. Like I was working on Christmas Eve doing the live stream yesterday. Today I'm doing this. This is kind of working. I like doing these things. Tomorrow I will be working on some side projects, but truly, the next step in life for me is to find someone to spend it with and to protect that and grow that and cherish that. So that's what the next step in life for me is. How much time did it take you to learn Angular after JavaScript? I don't know, a weekend. How old am I? I'm 33 years old. What do I think about the role of project managers? Well, someone's got to be in charge of the project and communicate to the business. What should you do to gain an edge over others? Really, if you want to gain an edge over others, it's just consistency. And when you hit milestones, understand that that's not the end game. So every single day, improve in one way or the other. Read books, do courses, build courses, start a YouTube channel, go to meetups, listen to podcasts. Just every day, really dive completely deep into the culture. And once you do that, keep it fun, keep it exciting, and just keep growing. Make sure you leave tutorial hell and you don't just follow tutorials. You go and build things on your own. Once you build things on your own, guess what? You're a developer. You may not feel like it. You may not have any resume experience, but that's what developers do. We build things from nothing to something. And when you can do that on your own, you're ready. So, how many programming languages do you know? I probably would say I just know JavaScript and TypeScript. I mean, I can program in anything, though. Most programming languages are more or less the same. I've programmed professionally PHP, C#, JavaScript, TypeScript. Do you think there will be more need for cybersecurity than software engineering in the future? No. Need and what the market demands are two different things. Advice to a junior level dev: make sure you're content in your job and then learn clean code and solid principles and testing. That'll help you go to mid or senior. What's the most recent thing that you've learned in any programming language? I recently looked at the ES 2020 standard and learned about the private variables and methods, private properties and methods. I thought that was pretty dope. Which one's better? HackerRank or LeetCode? Doesn't matter. Probably HackerRank just because they have examples specific to companies if you want to prepare. Do I invest? Yes. I invest about 40% of my income. I'm big in saving my money. You don't retire wealthy and get rich by working a job and spending all your money. So, how do I invest? Well, I invest into. I invest the majority of my money into ETFs. Not a financial advisor. S&P 500 ETFs. Plans for next year. Well, it's really to hit the ground running and studying and really make sure I do an excellent job with Amazon. Merry Christmas, by the way. To every a couple people said Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. It is to Eric and I have started recording the podcast again, so we have a couple episodes in the bag. So we're gonna release, I think, a 12th episode, shorter season this year because 24 is a lot. That's 6 months of episodes. It is to continue to do stuff with Scrimba. It is to go and put myself out there and make dating is. How does the ETF work, if you don't mind? So ETF is an acronym for Exchange Traded Fund, if I remember correctly. And basically what that is it's a basically what the ETF is it's a collection of stocks. So the S&P 500 ETF, for instance, would have 500 stocks from the S&P 500, and it's diversified through that. So the reason you choose an ETF over just a single stock is now you're diversified into 500 things instead of one thing. So if you bought cruise line stocks and they crashed, right? But you might lose 80% of your portfolio. But if you bought the S&P 500, cruise lines might go down, but also tech companies might go up. So you might actually end up with a win and you're more diversified. So the majority of what I buy are ETFs. I do buy tech companies and things like that. I have in the past bought crypto as well and hodled my way. But for the most part, I just buy those because I'm not a professional investor. I'm saving it to how much money have I made from my investments? It depends if you count. If you count, I'm positive in all my investments except I did a peer-to-peer exchange. This is when I first started, funds, and those actually cost me like 0.5% over 3 years. I made no money on my 14 grand I put into peer-to-peer lending. It was a waste of time and money, but you live and you learn. That's why it's important to start investing sooner than later, so you can learn when you don't have that much money. Not a financial advisor. If Amazon allows you to stay remote forever, would you rather stay remote? Yeah, I'd probably stay remote. Do you think the high price of Bitcoin is just another bubble, or is it going to the moon? I don't know. I try not to think about it. But it seems like year over year it's always up. So I can't understand how you earn 6 figures. Well, the average income for a family is about $60,000 or $65,000 in the US. We have a higher cost of living. Developers, we have a lot of tech companies here, are highly coveted, and it's not uncommon for a software engineer to make about $120,000 a year in pretty much any city, so. Best front-end frameworks, React, Vue, Angular. Look at job requirements to see they need lots of years or a degree. Just go ahead and apply. It costs you about 2-3 minutes to apply to a job, and it won't take too much out of you. All right, it's about time I start drinking this pre-workout before this live stream wraps up here in about 20 minutes. You think per year? No. 6 figures per month? No. I make good money. I'm getting into this is the first time in my life I've started feeling comfortable talking about how much money I make. But it's a good problem to have, I suppose. But I don't make 6 figures a month. No. So, what do I think of crypto? I think crypto's fantastic. I don't know that it's going to take over currency, but I think it's an interesting thing. Why don't you start your own tech company? I'm happy doing what I'm doing now. My career keeps progressing. At some point, I mean, listen, the amount of money and benefits and all that stuff that goes along, PTO, that's something to be valued. It really is. Like, I know the hot thing is to like shit on companies. Like most people want to shit on companies left and right? Like, you have nothing but, not to say I don't like Joshua Fluke or anything. I happen to like Josh. I haven't watched any of his videos in a while because it's for whatever reason a little negative at times, and I needed to be in a very positive place for my mental health. But it's very positive shit on corporate America, right? Are very common, but I think it's less common to say about the value that it brings. I mean, go and try and start your own business and tell me how you can tell me how well it goes. First, you need capital, a lot of time. And you need a lot of work, and it's very hard. You can go work at a company, especially as a software engineer, and make good money, better than the average family and individual, with great benefits. And, if you are happy doing that, which I am, because I keep on progressing, right? So like someone asked earlier, like, what do you think about going to L6? I'm thinking about, sure. Am I thinking about doing it next week? No. But a couple years down the road, if I'm up and running within 6 months to a year and I feel like I'm slaying my job, I changed my mentality from, okay, where am I going to be a year from now? right? Why am I going to keep going like this, or am I keep going like this to go like this? How do I keep my career progression going up instead of stagnating? And at some point, if I ever feel like I'm stagnating, like there's just no way for me to break out of this stagnant process, that might be a time where I look at it and say, do I want to do something on my own? And I don't, but that might be a scenario in which that would happen. The thing is like, to do that, what are you walking away from? A high salary. I'm not going to say like a consistent salary, because everything's at will, right? So like people can come and go, but you're walking away from medical insurance, 401k and retirement, paid days off. Like these are real things that have value to lower your stress levels, and especially if you go and have families and things like that, that can help you with that. um, so do I want to start my own tech company? No. Are there things I'm interested in doing? Yeah, but I don't value them as much as I value my career progression. Um, could that change? Sure, it could. As things happen, maybe I stagnate. Maybe I start valuing other things. Maybe I need to move and I want to go do something, or there's things I have to happen, right? At some point in my life, I'd like to go and like do some Peace Corps stuff or AmeriCorps stuff and stuff like that, where it's not about the money. That money issue is solved, hopefully, and I can go and take a year off and just go and live an experience. So, are gyms open where you're at? I believe so. Yeah, I haven't gone. Actually, they are. I have some friends in Florida who are posting like stories at the gym. What are your thoughts on freelance web development? That's a rough path, man. I can tell you that now that I have years of experience, the freelance work is like $100 to $150 an hour, and that's much better. But I had to get years of experience versus the $10 to $30 an hour I was charging before. Excuse me. What do you think if you died tomorrow, all your money is still in your bank? Would you have regrets for not spending it? No. You can't have regrets for making the right decision at the right time. In poker, you can't be results driven. Oh my god. Let me close this Discord. Everyone's pinging me. In poker, you're not supposed to be results driven. What you're supposed to be is decision driven. And what that means is that if I put all my money in good, and someone has, let's say I put all my money in and I have two pair and the guy's going for a gut shot. Well, a gut shot is roughly 8% chance of hitting. No, 4% chance of hitting on the river with one card to go. That's a gut shot, assuming that the person has 8 outs. It's about 2% per out on the river. So let's say they hit it and I lose. 92% of the time I was doubling my money. 8% of the time I was losing. Do I go and I have regret about making that decision? No, it may suck. I may be sad, but you don't have regret because you made the right decision at the right time, right? So the trickster, oh my goodness. We all know you aren't going to work out after the pre-workout. I think I know who that is. But she's throwing me off my game. But yes, you make the right decision at the right time, and you don't regret making that decision. And the truth of the matter is, none of us are guaranteed to wake up tomorrow. Things can happen. There are literally people who have probably died from being hit in the head by an asteroid. Like there's random stuff like that will happen. But do I have any regrets about putting 15% into retirement so that hopefully I retire and I'm good and I'm not living? You know what I would regret is making it to 60, living paycheck to paycheck. That's what I would regret, and worrying about where my next meal is coming from and having to be a burden on my children. That's what I would regret. Saving money and living below my means and planning for a future in which my kids and my significant other don't need to worry about those things. No regrets, and myself for that matter, right? I'm not saying this for everybody else. This is a selfish thing as well. So I don't want to. I've been laid off, even with severance and everything. So no regrets. Master of the Match. If you're looking for a API, what was that? JSON code. JSON placeholder.typecode.com. This is a open source fake online REST API that you can practice fetch and async stuff with. I posted in chat. How would I deliberately practice learning language? I'd probably do a 1-hour crash course on it and then build something in it. And then I'd maybe watch a more in-depth course and build something else in it. Well, Shiki, I appreciate that. But yeah, so when you're going in there, I've made I've made lots of decisions that haven't worked out. I try not to have regrets. I mean, we're all human, right? But I mean, you can apply that to your finances. You can apply what was it? It's when you look back, it's always 2020, right? You always make better. I just take take the example just happened. I went to my brother's house. I drove 16 hours and then 17 hours back in about a 72-hour period. Do I regret that happened? No. Does it suck? Yes. It's horrible. It was one of the top 10 worst experiences of my life. Driving up there and then having to drive back. It wasted time, wasted energy, money. Oh my God, my body ached going up there. My body ached going back. I got bit up by some bugs. It was a horrendous experience. But I came back because it was the right thing to do. And I needed to come in quarantine and couldn't risk getting my brother sick once I found out that something happened. Luckily, I was negative and all that sort of stuff. But do I regret it? No. I had a trip planned with my brother that we were going to do. We booked ahead of time. And it's just going to be the two of us, and we're going to be very safe and order in and just walk around the city outdoors with our masks on. It was going to be a good time, and we're going to spend Christmas together. That was the plan. Did it play out that way? No. Does that suck? Yeah. But do I regret it? No, not at all. So, do I play video games? On occasion. I actually have the new Call of Duty out by my TV. It hasn't even been open. It's been sitting there for, I think, a month at this point. So, I don't have any plans to realize my capital gains. There's nothing I want to buy. So, I don't plan on buying a house when and if I go to Washington because it's a little too expensive. And I don't plan on buying a house until I have another house until I meet somebody. So my money's all invested long term. So yeah. Although I was thinking about buying a Tesla. We'll see. Teslas are fun. That's really just to make the drive a little bit easier. But even after doing this drive with the dogs, man, the the car was like destroyed. Dog hair everywhere, food everywhere, and I was like, dude, I can't get a luxury car with 2 dogs. Like it's just it's a bad investment, and it's just hey, I want to treat myself, which is fine. You need to treat yourself, truly. 2 is two is it doesn't make sense, man. Like for the dogs to destroy it. Like I was looking at getting a Model S, although I might just wait for the Cybertruck. We'll see. Would I pay 10K 10K extra for the autonomous drive? Yeah. I'm getting what I want, and if I get a Tesla. Although I'm definitely not buying new. I'll buy refurbished or whatever they call it, recertified, 2 years old. Dude, I find dog hair in my mouth every day. Every day I wake up, dog hair. Wake up, dog hair. Dog hair, dog hair, dog hair. But yeah, I would. And they're I mean, I priced one out, it was like 85K. But new. And then I found similar one a couple years older with like 25,000 miles for about 50K. So it's significant price drop. Do I miss my cats? On occasion. I don't really think about them too much, but I have the dogs. They're a handful. They keep me busy. The only time I ever think about them is I get like Facebook photos, like like they do like Facebook memories, and they're like, "Oh, hey, you shared this photo," and then it's like most of my memories are pictures of the cats and dogs, right? And so I was like, "Oh, the kitties." As an owner of a golden retriever and Australian Shepherd, I feel your pain. Yeah, exactly. And so it's not like there's anything wrong with my car. It's a 2015. There's 30,000 miles on it. I paid for it cash basically. I paid it off after 2-3 months. And I don't have a car payment. I don't want a car payment. So if I go and buy a Tesla, I'm dropping 50 to 80 grand out of my accounts, which I'd rather just have as investments. But I don't know. Right now, I'm pretty content. There's not really anything I need or want, but that's one thing on the list. I want to travel, but ain't gonna be doing that anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We will see. No rush. And as long as you're investing your money, there should really be no rush to spend it. Like that's the truth of the matter. Is that if you are putting your money into something that's making you 10% return a year, which is pretty reasonable if you just put in like an S&P 500 ETF on average, then you shouldn't be in any rush because it's just going to keep increasing. And over time, whatever it is you want, your gains can pay for it. And you can plan for your future. I mean, compound interest, was it Einstein that said compound interest is like the 8th wonder of the world? So there's a lot that you can do with it. And so try not to be in a rush. Not to say you shouldn't do it. If you could describe what is life to your 13-year-old self, what would you say? My 13-year-old self. My 13-year-old self is playing Final Fantasy, Breath of Fire, Shikoden, and just a bunch of Japanese RPG games. I might say I'd probably tell him to invest. I got asked this question the other night, and that was my boring ass question. Is like boring ass answer was like I'd tell him to start investing, 40% of his money, so that he could buy a house by the time he's like 25 cash, right? Like, because I've been working since I was like 11. Okay, so I would tell him to invest. I'd also tell him to find one good woman, and that even if you think you need more, what you just need is more intimacy. That would probably be my advice. Exercise, work out. But like for me, my life at 33 is career and the thing lacking in my life is like a successful relationship and love life. And I'd probably give him advice from a selfish point of view of this is how you're going to tackle your career earlier on better, and go and focus on this aspect, because at 33 we're gonna need it. Like that's gonna be it. Eat better food so you don't have to detach to exercise. Mine are just indexed. Shiki, not a financial advisor. Yeah. Also, I'd probably say, hey, college isn't for you, so don't do it. Save yourself 6 years of pain. That would definitely be on the list. 100% on the list. Like, don't do college. Don't ever do college. Don't let anybody join the military before you do college. That'd be my aunt, because at least you'll only put 4 years into that. Like, like, I would definitely say don't ever do college. Do your own thing. You can do your own thing. And maybe tell them to open up a little bit more to people. That might be it. So, but yeah, I don't know. Not too much. Buy Bitcoin might be one of them. Buy HODL. Buy Bitcoin and HODL. Here's I'd be like, here's $1,000. Buy all this when they're 4 cents. Don't you dare sell till 2020. Yeah. I don't know. Nothing too exciting. Nothing too spicy. But you know what I was really looking forward to? I saved up all my PTO. I had 22 days of PTO. 22 days. A full month and then some of work. And I wanted to take a month-long cruise, and then, COVID. So it's like I was looking forward to it, this and that. I should be getting a nice little check in about a week of my PTO. But it's taxed as a bonus, so like 40% of it's gone off the top. So it's like one full free paycheck. Whoop-de-doo. I don't know. I probably would I don't know. I'd probably give him some advice about women. That'd probably be truth. Like, not that I know, but here's the thing: I don't know anything about this shit either. So obviously, what am I gonna be like? Yo, avoid the bad ones. How do you know the bad ones? I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. But but avoid the bad ones. Your PTO, yeah, it's usually taxed as a bonus. It's not taxed as like these holiday socks, by the way. Check that shit out. But yeah, it's not taxed as regular income. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, and I don't know any other holidays around this time of year. Happy New Year. So, all right, I got to pound this, and I think I got to go. I got to go show someone that I'm actually going to go work out, because they're talking shit from the other room. Yeah, it'll be but yeah, man. God, wouldn't that be the dream? That'd be the dream, man. Like, you guys remember the Ashton Kutcher movie, The Butterfly Effect? And basically he'd go in the past and like with the knowledge he had from the future, do that. You go he'd be like go to his childhood and like it was all a bunch of jacked up stuff. It was a really good movie. I loved it. It's kind of terrifying because there's a lot of dark themes about the Butterfly Effect, but it's a great movie. But like, could you imagine? Could you imagine? Like, it'd be more for me. It'd be more like Hot Tub Time Machine sort of stuff. Have you ever watched that? And then the guy at the end, just like everything's named after him. He invented all the great songs in Nintendo. But like, yeah, but yeah, man. I mean, but that's the thing. That's like that goes back to our earlier regret conversation. You have regrets about the choices you made? I mean, you can. It's not gonna do you any good. But you really should always look for it. Like depression. Someone said this to me one time. It really helped me mentally understand what I was going through. Depression is feeling sad about the past or having regrets in this case. And anxiety is being fearful of the future. And, you know, if you're sad that you didn't get started to learn code so early on, it's not going to do you any good. And if you're afraid that you're not going to get a job in coding because you're, you know, for whatever reason, that's not going to do you any good either. Just go and do it. Just go and work and put the time in. Don't waste energy on things that don't matter. And feeling sad about the past and being afraid of the future are things that truly don't matter. So, you know, these are things that like, yeah, you could have regrets about what you know, I wish I didn't waste 6 years in college. I really do. I couldn't even imagine. I'm going on 4.5 years as a professional. I couldn't even imagine where I would be 6 year with a 6 year head start. Give me 6 more years. Oh my God. So, you know, but you can't have regrets, man. You just have to go out there and do. Just gotta do it, man. And it's unfortunate. It's that, you know, a lot of people that they don't see it that way, but you should, man. And it's I haven't always. But with that being said, guys, pre-workout is done. Pre-workout is down. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, everybody. I wish you the best. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you are spending time with your family if you can safely. If not, hopefully we'll spend a little time together today. I am in about 5 minutes when this kicks in, going to be going and starting my workout. So see you guys next time. Bye.